All right, welcome. It's good to see you guys. Jerry's good to be here. Try to get this other stream going. There we go. All right, listen, I want to thank you guys for being here and welcome to another exciting episode of Technology Tuesday. I'm Greg Russell here with my good friend, Mr. Jerry Franklin Poe, and we are excited to talk to you guys today about some revelation things that are happening in the AI world, in the AI space. And you need to be aware of what's going on because this thing is changing every single day at the speed of light, and we're going to try our best to keep you up to speed on what you need to be paying attention to so that you can use AI for your business. With that, Jerry, we are going to thank everyone for being here. If you are watching us live, hit us up on the comments with hashtag live and the city that you are tuning in from. And if you are catching us on the replay, same thing, hashtag replay, and let us know where you're coming in from. And if you have any questions, go ahead and enter it in the comments and we will be sure to reply. With that, we are going to get started right now.
All right. That's right, folks. Technology Tuesday. We are here again, back in the building. Jerry Franklin Poe, Greg Russell. We bring you this information every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Practical knowledge, practical applications, so you can have practical solutions for your business.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All right, man. So let me make this clear. From the very beginning, we are going to talk about Grok Bot today. What it is, why it's important. And Grok Bot is not just another AI. This thing gets its own computer. It can log into your business tools like your email, like your social media accounts, and work while you sleep. It can remember how you like things done, and it can coordinate all other bots like a team. And this is what we get so excited about this particular AI today. And this is exactly why people are paying attention because of these things. And it's exactly why I think most businesses should slow down, hold on, and take a look at what's really going on behind the scenes. So today we are separating what's generally game changing from what's still early beta risk. So we're going to talk about Grok Bot. And so, Jerry, before we dive in, tell me your thoughts about this new technology. When I say new, like this thing is less than, at this particular time, it's less than 16 or 20 days old, right? We're right in, it's not 30 days old yet. Let me be clear. Grok is been around for a little bit, but this new tool, Grokbot, has not. So before we dive into the goods, I want to ask you your opinion on what you think about this new tool that's being put out.
Well, I mean, I look at it the same way as anything that comes out, the fresh, the new. Um, I'm always more cautious, Greg. You know me. I'm gonna let everybody else go first.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, because I don't want to be the one that has to deal with all the glitches and all like the issues. Anything, even going way back to like the days of Microsoft, I wouldn't be the one to jump off and get the new version of the software because I know they're still tweaking things. Like they're always the first version, or once if they're still in beta or when they come out of beta, it's something there that they still have to work on. So I usually just wait a little bit, but I think, for those who are early adopters and for those who want to be lead in the forefront, when it comes to productivity, getting things done a little bit faster, is definitely something to investigate.
Yeah, man. I think it's interesting because a lot of times things sometimes get hyped up. Like a few months ago, OpenClaw was one of the ones that was really getting hyped up by a lot of influencers and so-called AI experts. Um, but they shift very fast to the next hottest thing because in this world of content creation, you got to, create the content that people are looking for, interested in, and trying to learn about. So sometimes they are creating content just to stay ahead of, the excitement curve. And so I think that this particular tool is exciting because of some of the feature sets that it has. But I think I've seen this play before, and you may want to just wait. But let's talk about some of these features. So, Jerry, unlike the AI agents that are out now, the AI systems like Claude and ChatGPT, both of them now have desktop agents that can run on your computer and can see the files and control your computer like it's actually you sitting at the computer. So we can do some pretty amazing things with that, and you can create agents. Where this one differs, Jerry, is that it will allow you to create one agent that will communicate and work with the other agents. So you create one main agent, one chief of staff, or whatever you want to call the main guy or gal who's the is the main one, and then they will coordinate with the other agents. Now, you still have to create the other agents and give those agents a specific role. But once you do that, the main agent can coordinate with it when you need the task done that that agent is responsible for. So the thing that makes this really, really impressive is how easy it is to create and give these agents a role, as well as assign tools to these agents. So one of the things that I've learned when it comes to this AI, sometimes connecting your different stuff, like your Google account, like your access to your website, you have API access and MPC access, and those things are a little bit technical. And sometimes it can be challenging to get the stuff connected. Where this particular tool shines is its ability to connect super easily to your different tools. And part of that is because they get their own computer. So unlike your computer, if you have a browser, it has its own computer. And so basically it just opens up and says, hey, you want to log into this? And then you just authorize it as you would if you were authorizing it from another computer. So that makes it really, really easy to give access to these tools. So those are the things that people are getting really, really excited about when it comes to this particular tool, Grokbot, and be able to create these team of agents that work together. So that's how it differs from the others, and some of its things that are really, really exciting for those of us who've been playing and messing with and using this AI technology for our business. And so, what are your thoughts? And let me be clear. I do not have Grok Bot as of yet. I'm not using it. I'm just talking about it from what I've seen others in my research about it, and I dug kind of deep. So those are the things that make it different, Jerry. What are your opinions of what you heard about this particular AI system?
I mean, what you've shared, I heard got similar information or seen similar information. The fact that it's able to access and log in and use just, I mean, it's almost becoming and I was going to say automated virtual assistant. Like I'm not sure that'd be like because we have virtual assistants people operate with overseas in other countries that can do stuff while they're sleeping. But now it's not really even a person; it's more like a human being that's going to be doing it. I mean, not, excuse me, I think I said that wrong. It's not a human being. It's really just the technology, a robot or bot, right? Just doing it for you.
Yep, they call it some people are calling it an AI employee. So now that we covered a little bit about what it does, I'm going to talk about the pricing, and I want to get something, be very clear. When this first came out just a couple weeks ago, the pricing was like 200. You could only get started, Jerry, for $200 a month or $300 a month, right? And of the last few days, they have dropped the pricing, but that was the pricing when it first came out. And I also want to be clear about where to get it. So if this is something you want to try, if this is something you want to use, I want to be very clear about where to get it. So let me share with you where to get it. All right, I'm gonna share the screen. Give me 1 second to get it up, and we should be here. Let me know if you see the screen. You
Yep, I see it.
okay? Okay, cool. So the place you can get it is cursor.com. So Cursor is a AI controller for your computer where you can download it and install it. And in their pricing, if you go to Cursor, you will see they have this individual for $20 a month. You cannot get Grok Bot for $20 a month. This is their pro plan, and I don't know if you can see this right here, but this is a toggle that you can toggle to the Pro Plus. And the Pro Plus now, right, is at $60 a month from Cursor. This is the cheapest price that you're going to be able to get it for. And at the time of this broadcast, this is what has just dropped from $200, right? So it's $140 less than it was just 10 or so days ago. So the price has dramatically dropped because they are looking to get more people to try it out. Remember, this is still in beta. So the Grokbot, if it doesn't say Grokbot Access, you don't get it, right? So you can get it through Cursor at $60 a month for the Pro Plus or the Ultra for $200 a month. Now, just a few days ago, this Pro plan did not exist, and your only way to get it was to spend the $200 a month. They now have come out with this Pro Plus, which gives you, 3x the usage, and the Ultra gives you 20x the usage. So you don't get as much usage for this $60, but you can get started for it for less than $200, which for a lot of people who were looking at it, that may be interesting. And this is from Cursor, okay? If you go directly to Grok and you try to get it from Grok, and you go to their pricing page, you will see that you can get what's called Super Grok, but Super Grok does not include Grok Bot. So if you get it directly from them, the cheapest price you can get it directly from Grok is at $100 a month, right? So I just wanted you to be clear. These others do not have it. So your cheapest price that you can start is the cheapest price you can start is through Cursor at 60, and directly through Grok is 100, and then they have their super heavy user at 300. So that's the pricing. I wanted you guys to be clear on that before we move on. So any questions about that, about the pricing before we move forward?
I think you're good, man. Pretty clear.
Cool. So, Jerry, this is what I think. I think this is a great tool, and I love the concept. I love the concept of being able to have these agents and just have a specific chat with that one agent, and even be able to go into the different agents and see the conversation if needed, or directly communicate with another bot. The concept is great. The ability that it has to get its own computer, the concept is great, but the reality, not so much, depending on what you want it to do. So check this out. If, for example, you log into your bot logs into, let's say, LinkedIn, LinkedIn is going to check the IP address and location of your last LinkedIn. It's going to see it's different, and then it's going to do the security thing. Now you can do the security thing right there, but you're still at risk because now this AI bot is logging in from this different location. And how quickly or soon will LinkedIn and other social media platforms be able to determine that, okay, this place and this location and these IPs belong to, Grok, and it's not the actual person. So remember, AI is smart, but AI is smart both ways. If they can use it to determine and figure out some of these things faster than most of us would like. So the idea is good. The reality is not as exciting because now you have more risk. Now, not all social media platforms have, that type of security, but for the main ones like LinkedIn and Facebook, they do. They really don't want automated systems using their platform. They want real people because they want to show their ads to real people. That's where the revenue is. So when it comes to automating, they don't really want that. And they're trying to prevent that because they want to get good results for their advertisers. And that just makes sense if I'm on their side thinking about where my money comes from. So the actuality of it is a great concept, but I don't think it's actually well executed in reality for some of those platforms. For some of the others, I think it's great, right? For some things that it can just log into and use, so it's good. But Jerry, here's the big one. Here's the thing that I think for me, that my experience and expertise plays an important role. I've seen this play out before. And I'm going to use an example from years ago, and I'm going to use an example from recently. So years ago, I was interested in recording desktop recording software. And I had Camtasia, and Camtasia is still around today, and has recording desktop recording for Mac and PC. And so I had Camtasia, and then this other smaller company came out with this feature. I don't remember what the feature was, but I really wanted to have this feature, and I thought it would make things so much easier. And so I invested in this other one, even though Camtasia was kind of already established in the market as one of the premier desktop recording platforms. And this was, 15 plus years ago. So I got this other one, and I had this learning curve, and I had to learn the new one because it was different and they had this feature and I liked it. But in less than 1 year, Jerry, Camtasia came out with the same feature. It just added it on there. And if I would have just been patient, I would have not had to waste the money and the time trying to learn a new platform and had the feature that I really want because it came out later. And so I think that the features that we like that are shown in Grokbot will be available for some of the other platforms like Anthropic's Claude and OpenAI's ChatGPT, the ones most of us have already used and learned already. And I will give you an example from those. Like earlier this year, Claude came out with the desktop app, and they were the first ones. Not the first ones. They were one of the first ones to have the desktop app. At the time, OpenAI ChatGPT didn't have a desktop app, and they didn't come out with theirs until later. However, when they came out with theirs, there were some features that were better than the Claude desktop. And my point is this: I think if you're patient, if you like those features, does it make sense to go and learn something new right now? Maybe it depends on the type of business you have and the results you want. And are you a power, would you consider yourself a power user? If not, then right now I would probably say, oh, those features are really good. And maybe we'll just wait until OpenAI and Anthropic see the competition and build it into their own. And with at the speed and rate in which these updates are coming, it's probably definitely not going to be a year before those same type of features come out, and they can see the limitations or flaws that the Grokbot may have and improve on those when they come out with theirs. So my opinion, Jerry, is that even though it's great, it may be better for some of us to just wait for the other systems to come out with similar features. Now, I'm not saying that's you have to do that, but I'm thinking for some of us that may be the best play, because there are certain features and things that you would have to learn and figure out, which would use your time and your resources. And at the moment, if you're paying, $20 for Claude, or you're paying $20 a month for uh, OpenAI, ChatGPT, then this one to even test and play with is 3 times the amount. The other thing that we are unsure of, a regular AI system like GPT, and Claude, when you have a conversation, right, every time you send a message or ask a question, if you're on the desktop, it has to read that from the beginning every single time. And for most of us, at some point, we start new conversations because, one, some of us who are power users, we're looking at that context window, and we know every time we hit the button, it sends the whole conversation back to for it to give us a response. And so we manage that. But with this Grokbot, we don't know how it manages that conversation because you can't start another one. Once you have a bot, it's a single chat thread with that bot ongoing. And your only way to delete that is to delete the bot and create another one. And so it's not determined how it handles a long thread. And if you're having your main bot work with all these other bots, those conversations just get longer and longer and longer. And so over time, it could cost you more and more tokens just to run it. But the thing that I'm cautious about, Jerry, is we don't know. Right now, there's no way to tell or determine how Grok is handling those long conversations, although all the conversations are just going to get longer because it's a single chat thread. It's not like it's uh, a chat message where you start a new one like some of the others. So my opinion, I think it may be best to hold off and wait to see what else is going to come.
Yeah, I hear you. It sounds like Greg is waving the caution flag. if this is a Daytona check, like slow down, driver, slow down. Yeah, I was listening to you, and it reminded me of Shark Tank. And Kevin O'Leary would have somebody come on there, and he would tell them, in a not so subtle way, that they were a cockroach, that they were going to get squashed by the competition. Because quite often, what you're saying is true. I can think of a list of companies that came up with something, and then the major players like, oh, we could do that too, and they just basically snatched what they were doing and plugged it in. Now, yeah, there's always the exception to the rule, like that, some people make it through, but a lot of times the major player just adopts with that other, they find their own version. They like, oh, okay, that's interesting. We'll add that to our menu as well. Like, it's like, so yeah, it's like you jump on this new feature, the next thing you know, it's like um your system has that feature as well.
Yep. Yep.
The
I
the part
really
that the
like.
part that go ahead.
I no, I really like the concept. And I'm not saying that. I mean, the reality is we don't know. Grok could be the one that Grok could be the 800-pound gorilla in a few years. We don't know, right? If we look back at history, and before Google, there were search engines, right? There was Lycos, InfoSeek, Ask Jeeves. There was a whole bunch of them, right? And Google came along, and now unless someone has been around, like me, you may not even heard of those. And so right now, Anthropic and Open AI could be like those others and be irrelevant in a few years. We don't know. And Grok could be, right? But when it comes to looking at, the feature set of what's really, really popular in those, I think right now, for me, right? And for my followers and for the people who I advise, I would be like, hey, instead of learning that new system right now, if you already are using and have things set up in your other programs, just wait. Most likely those features will come, or some of them will come, or even better. But if you need that right now, if you have major challenges because you can't do things that you need to do, then by all means go for it. And let me give you one more feature that they have right now that the others don't. If you have multiple Google Workspace accounts, let's say you have multiple businesses, or you are managing businesses for clients and you're an admin on their system, with Claude and Open AI's Chat GPT in their agents in their AI system, you can only connect one right now. It's a major challenge for you to connect more than one. And for most people who only have one, they never even thought about connecting more than one. But the Grok bots can connect multiple Google Workspace accounts, which at the moment gives them advantage. But again, competition, these AI companies are competing. They're trying to become profitable. They're building these data centers. They're spending this money. You know, they will fight to be competitive. And I think that you know if you stay with the one you have, most likely those features will come. That's just from my experience, and I think they're really, really good features that I can't wait to see what the others come up with now that Grokbot has dropped.
Yeah, like I think what the point that you're making is that if the feature is worthy, they'll add it.
Yep.
If the feature is not coming, because we all know that there are some companies that came out with a new feature, and then eventually is like that feature wasn't as great as people thought it was going to be, and then that thing went away. But yeah, if the feature has potential, they're like, oh, there's something here, then they're going to try to bring it into the system. I mean, very few, like what you were talking about with Google versus InfoSeek and Lycos, and, even Yahoo. We think about it. Um, they not only did they come out with another way, but a better approach to it. Like it was, we weren't like the way that Google started to index things was not the same. It was like, oh, we could do it in a much different way, and people were like, well, this is much easier. But in many cases, you know, if the other company saw what they were doing and they could get and change faster, the question is, do they want to change? So sometimes these ideas come like you were talking about with Camtasia. It's like, oh yeah, okay, great. That's a feature that seems to have some traction. We should just go ahead and we could just push one, move some code over here, move some code over there. Now we got it in our system.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah.
Hey, I want to thank you guys who are dropping the comments. I appreciate all the comments. Even if you think AI is going to kill us all, appreciate that. Yeah, man. Listen, I think it's a great time to be learning and figuring out different ways to do things in your business. And this AI is not going anywhere anytime soon. And I think that the more we learn and the more we share will benefit us in the long run. So with that, I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and thank you guys for your comments. And make sure you tune in every Tuesday, 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for Technology Tuesday. And if you'd like to get more information and hang out with me and Jerry, join the group. You can get information at technologytuesday.com. And with that, we will see you guys again next week. Thank you so much. Take care.